Hello, guys. Welcome. It is Juventus Roma, the match just before the end of 2023. We're going to look at some probable formations here. These are coming from Gazzetta dello Sport. And the one thing that we noticed for Roma is El Shaarawy will likely be starting this one over Dybala. Do I think Dybala will play? Honestly, he is da valutare. They're still looking at his condition. I'm not certain. I think maybe he comes off the bench, but a starting role seems to be too much to ask for him at the moment. Instead, what we do have here, though, is Mancini starting yet another match with Patricio Llorente at the center back role with Endika, who gets probably his last game before AFCON, before he's called away with that. On the right, looks like it'll be Christensen, then Cristante, Paredes, and Bove, who looks to be cemented as a starter in Mourinho's lineup. And on the left here, it won't be Pellegrini. It's not going to be the way that it looks. Instead, you'll probably see El Shaarawy slotted out as a left wing back, as a left back, left wing back, or you could even see Zalewski here. To be honest with you, I think it will be Zalewski, and then we'll probably see perhaps even Chris. No, it's really tough to say as I'm having like second thoughts here. Maybe Pellegrini honestly drops to the bench again, and instead you do see El Shaarawy at the number 10 instead of Lorenzo. Anyway, as we look at this Juventus lineup, though, there's a couple interesting situations going on here. And one of those, I was talking to Giuseppe Gigius Juve, and he was telling me how there's been a couple players out of form. And we do see that Vlahovic, Chiesa, and Locatelli will be back, but even Weah has not been playing too much. So while we do have a predicted starting formation here of Chiesa and Vlahovic up top, these two have not been as active as probably Juventini would prefer. And we do see Weah and McKinney, so two Americans getting the start here. And jumped back on me. But back up ahead in the center of the pitch, Locatelli should get to start. Another player who hasn't been there a lot, Rabiot and Kostic on the left. To me, you can't go wrong with Kostic. This was a great buy by Juventus, and he's done really well for them. He's been efficient. Allegri uses him pretty well, although I think he's much more of a forward player than he's given credit for. Gatti, Bremer, Danilo with Szczesny in the back. On the panchina for Juventus, it looks like Perin, Pinsoglio, Rugani. I can't believe he's still there. Iling Jr., Caviglia, Miretti, Yildiz, the 18-year-old striker who just scored against Frosinone, and Milik, whereas Roma have Svilar, Salih, Karsdorp, two right backs, a little bit redundant there with Christensen as well. Pesili, the defensive midfield youngster, Award, who could possibly be even moving. We'll talk a little bit about that before we sign off. Sanchez, who should be going back to Paris Saint-Germain, and Pagano with Belotti and Azmoun. So 2 or 3 of these players on the bench, I don't expect to be here come February 1st. There's nobody disqualified. Mancini is on a yellow card, while for Juventus, Gatti, Locatelli, and Danilo also risks disqualification for next round. Okay, so that Juventus lineup is rested just as Roma's is, right? I think that the Giallorossi can get the better of the old lady here. I really do. I think they have the players, if they have the mentality, if they have the approach, if they've really set their minds to it, if they play the way that they did against Napoli. One thing I want to do here is show you the starting lineup that Juventus played, and I think we could see a mix of what Gazzetta dello Sport is predicting as well as this one here, where we've got Milik and Yildiz up top. I do think it is going to be Chiesa and Vlahovic, regardless of if they've played a lot recently or not. But like I said, do expect Kostic there, expect Rabiot, Bremer for sure, and Szczesny. So they've got a good core. Max Allegri has this team playing pretty good. You probably hear my baby in the background screaming, and yeah, dad life. Anyway, okay, guys, we live streaming after this one. I hope to be at Roma Club New York. Let's see how that goes. All right, we'll talk then.